while we have a minute and the kids are off playing, I wanted to just make a video to explain some things about our videos. There will be some videos showing Bethany at her worst, and then there'll also be great times, fun times, our family doing great things, because for the most part, her days are just like any other kid. She is like any other kid, but one of the things that we had discussed as a family, and Bethany wanted to be a part of this, is that we wanted to share it with the people, whoever want to watch it, what it's like for one of these children that is on the spectrum, but very, very high functioning. The problem we have for Bethany is that she is so high functioning. She is so smart, and I've worked so hard with her from the minute I had her diagnosed to work on, the things that were hard for her, to work on her speech, to work on her sensitivity to sensory, in a hopes that she would be in a normal mainstream classroom, which is what we have accomplished with her. And I'm so, so happy we've gotten there. I mean, I've given everything I have. And that's exactly what she deserves. She deserves to be able to do anything she wants to do. But with that being said, her being so high functioning, and from day to day, for the most part, people would look at her and say to me, your daughter doesn't have autism. You have to be with us a lot to see it, because she really does do well for the most part. But when she has bad days, they're real bad. Most of it she gives to me, most of it isn't in the classroom. Because of all of that, we fight to get her the services that she needs and deserves. Again, we've just lost her therapy. We've been through therapist school, or we get therapy for a while, and she'll be doing really great, making great strides, and then they'll tell us they can't provide us services anymore. She doesn't need it. When I know there's things she still needs. I know there's things that she has to work on. I know there's things we still struggle with. Oh no, your daughter's fine, she's fine, she's fine. And then even at school, I get the, oh well, she's really, really smart, so she doesn't need any help. Just because she's smart doesn't mean she's not struggling somewhere else, like her compliance issues. Bethany has issues with being non-compliant, not completing tasks. How are you supposed to do the best you can do and get the best grades you can get if you have trouble with completing tasks, you have trouble transitioning? She has trouble with, if a test is, timed. That doesn't very often happen in the first grade, but if she has to complete something in a certain amount of time, but she's not done, she can't transition to that next thing because her brain is still on that task. So to expect her to do so is a lot, and it can cause problems. Sarah, don't do that. Sarah, don't push the baby that way. Yeah. I said I had a minute. Yeah, right. So, as she gets older and tests are timed, and it's going to get harder and harder, because that time limit also sometimes stresses her out. So now she feels overwhelmed. And so now I'm not going to complete the test. I'm not going to answer the questions, or I'm just going to pick at random and answer things randomly, just so I can get it out of here and get it away from me and get them to stop asking me, because I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed. You can't expect her to take a test like everyone else, to do certain things in a classroom just like everyone else. She doesn't fit that mold. But it's being expected of her because she's so smart, and from day to day seems like everyone else, and they're saying, well, she's not educationally needy. So she does really well, but we do have times where it's hard. And I do my best. I fight and I fight and I fight. I'm still fighting to get her a new therapist. At the moment, we do not have therapy going on. We used to get behavioral therapy. We've lost that service for a bunch of reasons. Not happy about it. So things have gotten a little rocky, because that, combined with we just moved to a new house, some of our behaviors are escalated. So these are the things that we want to share with the world, because we feel like maybe, yes, it's known. There are there's tons of kids out there just like her. But I just feel like everywhere I go, I hit a roadblock. It's like, oh, you're high functioning, don't worry about it. Oh, you're high functioning, don't worry about it. Like, she doesn't have struggles. She should just deal with it and move on. You can socialize, get over it. I'm sorry that it's too loud in here for you, get over it. It's kind of frustrating to us. So Bethany had, we had talked about it. She'd wanted a YouTube channel for a long time, to make slime videos and crazy videos that her and her sister see. But then we had one night where she had a meltdown. I was videotaping it for possible future therapists that were going to come in, so they had an idea, because you don't always see it. It happens more for me than anyone else. And so Bethany was like, well, is that what I really look like? And then she was able to explain to me in that moment of her screaming and hitting me what was going through her brain. She couldn't verbalize it to me at the time. She couldn't tell me what she needed at the time, but in looking at it after, she could explain it to me, which was really cool to hear. And then I said, well, what do you think about us having a YouTube channel to talk about this? And she thought, that's great. Because she gets a lot of times where people stare at her and think she's weird when she's having these meltdowns. People look at me and give me the judging stare and say nasty things. Oh, well, you don't discipline your child. You need to spank your child. Not understanding that she's overstimulated. Her brain is out of control. She can't necessarily help it or verbalize what she needs. And mostly she does really well with that, but there are days where it's too hard, and she is still just a kid, and she shouldn't be expected to be able to turn it on and off. She can't. Autism doesn't just go away. And you know what? It's not a bad thing either. Some of the greatest things about her are because of her autism. I wouldn't take it away for the world. I wouldn't change her. Like I have a tattoo that says, I wouldn't change you for the world, but I would change the world for you. And that's what we want to do. We want to have our voice heard, share with people. Maybe there'll be people who share their experiences with us and say, yes, we feel the same way. But Bethany thought it would be really cool for people out there to see the perspective of, a little kid like her. She's only 6. She'll be 7 in a couple months. For people to see that and see her perspective and understand, what, when this happens or that happens, this is how I'm feeling. So hopefully people will like what we have to say. People will want to watch it. So like my kids love to tell me I'm supposed to say, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, drop us some comments if you have questions for us. We're willing to share anything, most things about ourselves. Maybe if someone else is going through it and has some questions, maybe you have an experience that you want to share with me that you could help us. We're all open to any information out there. And it would be great to hear from other moms who have high-functioning kiddos like mine. I would love to hear from other moms. I feel like a lot of times people don't talk about it. The other moms I know whose kids like that, they don't talk about it. It's like they ignore it. And they, my kid's mostly high-functioning, so they don't talk about it. Their kid's doing great, and that's it. Yeah, I would love to hear from other people who maybe have similar stuff going on. So thanks for listening, and subscribe to our channel.